It can really be exhausting to look for an apartment to rent in Ghana. It is very, very burdensome because, especially on the internet, you see a whole lot of groups advertising one house or the other, and it is sickening, or I should say saddening, to note that some have been there for a long time. I think that with time, they need to remove those that are not available. Yet, they are all competing with those available. And those available are quite few. In fact, either you find one that's significantly more expensive or significantly less expensive than your expectations. That's why you should keep these 4 things in mind when renting an apartment in Ghana. Individuals and real estate companies are putting up properties in Ghana to meet the ever-increasing demand for accommodation. However, not every apartment or house will meet one's expectations, requirements, or needs. Hence, before one decides whether to rent or buy an apartment, it is important to ask yourself these questions. Is it possible for you to easily communicate to work from the property? How easy is it to get to schools, hospitals, shopping malls, and other amenities? Especially for those with children, these are very essential. Another question to ask is it in a well-developed neighborhood? Especially in terms of security, it is paramount. Yet we all know what is prevailing. Is the apartment size appropriate for you and your needs? Well, you don't need to rush. If you cannot answer positively to any of all these questions, the apartment you have found is simply unsuitable for rent. Now, let's go over the 4 things to look for when renting an apartment to help you decide what's best for you. But first, let's look at the distinction between buying and renting a property in Ghana. Buying a house or renting a property, which is better? Many people prefer a home. Many people's long life ambition is to own a home eventually. Most of the time, deciding whether to rent or buy becomes difficult because of also the limited resources that we are acquainted with. Renting is the only option for some people because they cannot afford to buy a home in Ghana. For many people, purchasing a home is preferable to renting as long as it fits within their budget. It is important to note, however, that owning a home entails responsibilities. As a result, it becomes a matter of pros and cons. So let's see. Renting a property is acquiring a property for some time by paying a set monthly or annual fee to the developer or homeowner. Here we say landlord in Ghana. Whereas buying a property is permanently acquiring the property. On the other hand, buying properties in Ghana can be cost intensive upfront and remotely. Renting a house can also take a huge chunk of your monthly income. However, the difference here is that once you buy a home, it is yours for life and forever. Another distinction is that renting allows you the flexibility of changing properties after some time, especially when you see certain deplorable conditions that are associated with where you are renting. You can change it to suit your needs and your requirements. The homeowner or developer is also in charge of any maintenance. Purchasing a property, on the other hand, does not allow you the adaptability to changing properties. Once you've purchased your dream house or home, the likelihood of securing another property is so up in the air due to variables such as needing a larger space as your family size continues to increase in number, or needing to be in a different environment. Unless you want to buy different properties as investments, you also are in charge of any maintenance once you buy the property yourself. Desiring to rent or buy has its pros and cons. There's advantages and disadvantages, but the decision is ultimately up to you and what you want, as well as your financial situation. There are, for instance, developers like Eden Heights who are here to help you make this decision. We have also Debt Traco and others. Well, in no particular order. Those who have other real estate developers, please drop your comments. We are all here to learn and update ourselves, so please share your experiences. Eden Heights is here to assist you in whatever decision you make. We have a skilled team that specializes in acquiring prime lands in Ghana and developing them into luxurious yet affordable homes. Some of these estates agencies or estate developers, they have their properties which are tastefully fitted and elegantly decorated both inside and outside, and their terms of payment are said to be flexible. If you have an experience, please drop a comment. What do you look for if you have to rent an apartment in Ghana? In Ghana, the majority of the population prefers to rent rather than buy a home. As your home becomes a part of you and contributes to your comfort, happiness, and health, you must keep certain key things in mind when renting an apartment. Homes in Ghana vary in size and type, and here are some things to consider when renting homes in Ghana. The first thing to look for is the location. When looking for an apartment to rent in Ghana, location is crucial. One may rent a property in a well-developed neighborhood or area where you do not have to drive for hours to get groceries or access to healthcare. Professionals and workers must be able to easily commute from their homes to their workplaces and vice versa. As you live in a neighborhood where you can feel safe, it is important to also consider that it is crucial and critical to understand the type of environment you want to live in, especially if you have a family to raise. What kind of neighborhood would you want to raise your children in? Do you want to get away from the hustle and bustle of the city? When you know where you want to live, it's much easier to make an informed decision when renting homes in Ghana. Of importance is also the size and the shape. The size and shape of the property is as important as the property's location. How much size and space do you need for your property? Do you want to spend a lot of money on the house only to find that it is too small? So you must determine your needs and how the size of the apartment can meet that need. Also is security. Security is paramount. Traditional houses in Ghana rarely have any form of security, but real estate companies make certain that their properties have security. Perhaps that's why you have to consider that. But how secure is the system? When renting an apartment or a house in Ghana, you must ensure that the property is secure 24/7. When renting a home, some people feel more secure in a quiet and serene neighborhood. Consider the crime rates in the area, the proximity of security posts, and the availability of security patrols. In the end, everyone wants to live in a secured environment and raise a family in a peaceful environment. To ensure that you and your property are well protected, all of those apartments must have 24-hour security from well-trained security personnel. Finally, the facilities and amenities. Amenities and facilities are critical to making one's life comfortable and stress-free. Most Ghanaian homes pay little attention to this factor. Well, some basic amenities and facilities to look for when renting an apartment in Ghana includes uninterrupted water and electricity supply, clean toilets and baths, kitchen spaces, and in this day and age, internet connectivity. If it is important to you, when it comes to what amenities or facilities is more important to who at any given point in time, everyone has a preference. For example, one may be very particular about the size of the kitchen and the size of the parking lot. For one reason or another, you may be unwilling to compromise on that. Once you know what you want in an apartment, with such a preference, you will naturally choose an apartment that provides ample parking space. And this one is very important, the price. We have scarce resources. The cost of living in Ghana has always been a major source of concern in the real estate industry. In recent times and years, landlords and homeowners in Ghana charge exorbitant price for their homes. Most homes and landlords require 2 years advance rent, and this situation is very worrying. The unfortunate fact is that some of these homes have very few amenities and facilities. It is then critical that you thoroughly investigate the price of the apartment or house you wish to rent to determine whether you are receiving value for money. When deciding whether to rent or buy an apartment, you must consider your budget. Is the desired property reasonably priced? Is it within your price range? What other alternatives do you have? These are some questions to consider before making a purchase. One must know how much money to spend on these things. Where is the best place to live in Ghana? What is the best neighborhood to live in? This is most likely one of the most frequently asked questions by people looking to rent or buy an apartment. So what factors make a neighborhood the best place to live? Where in Ghana is the best place? Because we all have different perspectives. The answer may surprise you. Your guess is as good as mine. Tell me some. Where is the best place to live in Ghana? Whatever region you find yourself, drop a comment. Let's know the best place to live in Ghana. Renting an apartment in Ghana is not only stressful, but it can also deplete one's finances. So make sure you are getting good value for money. Yes, make sure you look for an apartment to rent in Ghana and make sure you are comfortable. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you watching other videos. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe to my channel.